Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Grand Bazaar. It is finally time today to announce the results of the wife poll, and we are going to do our proposal and fast forward to our wedding day. We're going to keep it all sort of in one video. I have my feather in my pocket, finally. It's just been sitting in my storage for the entirety of the year thus far. A little bit late on proposing, but I wanted to give the poll a fair amount of time to run, and I have those results today. So, drum roll please. The winner of our wife poll is Freya.
Whoa!
And I have the results up on screen here. You can see that it was actually fairly close between Sherry and Freya, and for a little while there, they were actually only off by a few votes. But Freya ended up at the very top, and so she is going to be our wife. Now I need to hurry so that I can propose to her today before she leaves town for work. Otherwise, I might actually miss her on the way out. And it looks like she's already left. How stressful. Basically have to hunt her down. Hello, Freya. I know that you're busy and you're on your way to work, but I have something very important to ask you. What? For me? That could only mean one thing, right? Wow, this is so sudden. Let's go somewhere more private. Gosh, this is just so sudden. I'm just surprised. Well, I want to say, yes, I accept. I'm so happy right now. I've actually been hoping that you might propose. I just can't believe that it really happened. We've got a wedding to plan. It'll take a little time. We need about a week, I think. It'll be the start of our life together. I can't wait. Me neither, Freya. I'm so excited. This is actually the first time since I have opened up my playthroughs for spouse through voting that I've actually gotten the spouse that I would have personally chosen. I think Freya is probably my favorite wife option in this game, although I think all of the options are really, really solid, and it was fun to run the poll and see what everybody's preferences were. So thank you to everybody that voted. I had actually tried to propose to her yesterday. I thought it was kind of cute to propose to her on my birthday, but unfortunately, because it was a festival day, she wouldn't actually accept the feather, so I had to push it to today, the 29th. And a week from today is going to be the 5th of fall, and that should be when our wedding day is. It'll be right after our bazaar day, which is kind of perfect. So the feather is finally gone from my inventory. One less thing taking up inventory space. And at this point, if we go to speak to any of the other female marriage candidates that we didn't choose the red heart will be gone from their portrait. Freya's will still be there, but you can see that it's now disappeared from Antoinette's little profile here. So, making it very clear that you're committed and off the market. And a reminder, you can only get married at the start of year 2. You have to have the big bed, and your marriage candidate of choice, whether you are playing as a female or a male, has to have a red heart. And we've already seen all of their events. So all of the marriage requirements in this game are pretty standard. It's just a shame that they make you wait until year 2, because someone like Sherry, we definitely could have married before the end of year 1. And it was a little bit difficult for me to find better gifts for Freya and for Antoinette, which is why it kind of took me a little while. And I have already gone ahead and played up to my wedding day. I thought it was safe to do so, assuming that Freya was going to win, because it was looking pretty unlikely that anybody else was going to pull ahead in the poll. Let's go ahead and get married and see what our wedding ceremony is going to look like. I'm glad to be with you all on this beautiful day. As the mayor, I, Felix, have the honor of presiding over this wedding. Nick, do you take Freya as your wife to love forever? I sure do. And Freya, do you take Nick as your husband to love forever? I do. Wonderful. I now pronounce you husband and wife. This is so wonderful. And that is it. The whole town will come out to watch. It's a little bit of a shame that they didn't do wedding dresses or any sort of formal wedding clothes. I think Freya would have dressed up very nicely. I imagine she would have looked very beautiful in a wedding gown. But regardless, we are happy, short and sweet. And it's interesting that they do the credits now, as opposed to when you actually expand the Bazaar all the way to 100%, because I would kind of think that that is the overall goal of this game, but for some reason they've chosen to run these after marriage. And now that we are married, our only real goal is to finish up getting ourselves the best bazaar in the world. And hopefully in the meantime, Freya and I will have a wonderful little life together. And I will, of course, work on uploading other proposals and wedding videos separately for all of the characters that I'm able to do that for. Thank you for playing. Thank you for developing such wonderful games. we're starting a new life today. Do you want me to call you something new? No, I'm good. We'll just stick with our first names. But you can pick a nickname if you want. We're husband and wife. I'm so happy. Ah, you're so cute. And I'm so happy that you're happy. Oh my god, you're adorable. So, Freya will now be here in and amongst all of my pets. I really feel like we bring out the best in each other. She is just so lovely and she's so mature and she's just so great. I am so happy that that is the result that we ended up with. Our anniversary is now on our calendar, and you will get the wedding cutscene as soon as you wake up and get out of bed on your wedding day. And it's nice in this case that it doesn't actually skip a day. It does that sometimes depending on the game. Not all Harvest Moon games do it. Fortunately for us, we, I guess, wake up super early, get married at 6 a.m., and carry on with our day. And that will mean that we don't have to skip the Bazaar results for our first Bazaar of the fall season. So we can still go to our Bazaar results and we don't miss out on a day of planting and whatnot, which is nice. We can kind of get started and keep things going on a schedule as planned. Now, because this video is coming before our fall Bazaar, and we're kind of time traveling a little bit here, I will of course do the actual Bazaar results and the Bazaar properly when the time comes. Now that Freya has moved in with us, she has kind of abandoned her house, and her home is going to remain empty. She's the only female candidate who has her own house, so right now it is empty. But if I'm remembering correctly, the wrapping paper stall NPC will come and stay here. So at least her house doesn't go to waste, because I always find that very weird in Harvest Moon games when you're living in such a small village and now all of a sudden you have this big empty house. Angelo will move out, but at least he has a workshop. And as for someone like Sherry, she's just gonna move out of Felix's house. So there's still someone living there. Antoinette will leave her father's house, but there's still someone occupying the home. And then if you marry one of the brothers, Dirk or Ivan, one of them will stay behind. It's always such a weird detail that I notice. I just always am so bothered when someone moves in with you and then you just have this big empty house in such a small village. That is a totally off-tangent little rant that I had. And we will just need to stay tuned for results of expanding our family, which will come in due time. For now, I just have to do my best to keep Freya happy, and her schedule will change a little bit after marriage. Most of the marriage candidates, when they do marry you, their schedule does change a little bit. But Freya's up nice and early. I can always talk to her in the morning before I get started, and she's usually home in the evening, so we will just both kind of do our work during the day and spend our mornings and our evenings together. So I'm very excited to be moving on with this new chapter starting in fall and then going forward from here. I don't think I really missed any information that I needed to give out. Hopefully I covered it all. And I will be going back in time to do some additional videos before this time. But I figured it was a good idea just to put the proposal and the wedding all in one video, just because all of these cutscenes are not all that long to begin with. Once again, thank you all so very much for voting in the poll and showing your interest. I really love that I started to do that with my viewers, because I find it really exciting, especially when I end up with a spouse that I'm not expecting. I always like to kind of see how things are outside of the box of what I would normally do. But in this case, it also feels really good just to have the spouse that I would have personally chosen myself. So let me know your thoughts and who you were voting for, who you were hoping to see me marry, and I will at some point be uploading all of the other events and proposals and weddings for all of the other girls, just so that they're not forgotten about and everybody can see those if they wish. For now, I am just going to work on catching ourselves up to this point in real time and sort of going back to the end of summer where I had started this video. So I will be back with some more videos very, very soon. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.